So away we go here in San Francisco. Alongside me for this iconic race is the 2018 World Triathlon Champion and Olympic and Commonwealth Games medalist, Vicky Holland. Vicky, if you could pick commentary box or cold shark-infested waters, what are you picking?
It's actually a really difficult question, Matt, because this race is an absolute bucket list race for pretty much any triathlete on the planet. Last year as well, the athletes were all wearing booties in the water, whereas none of them are wearing gloves, and maybe some of them are wearing booties we can't see yet, but we'll find out shortly.
So, first out of the water, I think, is that still Mark Dubrick?
I think so, yeah. Yes, and Jamie Riddle through there in second. I think that's Morgan Pearson coming through there. Bitados, Aaron Royal is there. This is Kyle Smith in the white cap coming through now as well. Jelle Geens, Vincent Luis. I mean, the whole pack is here. I'm fully expecting to see all of our athletes come through as they head into T1.
So the name of the game here, be as efficient as you can. Get that wetsuit off as quickly as possible. Not always the easiest thing, and some of these athletes make it look very, very simple.
Every second matters in short course racing, where you're fighting to make big packs. That's not quite so often the case in middle and long distance racing, but they're still all learning that they've got to be super fast and slick through transition. And there we have Vincent Luis with his special 49ers race suit. It's sort of an ode to the San Francisco 49ers, and it's pretty distinctive, isn't it, Matt? So that's Nicholas Mann there at the rear of this group at the moment. So it's going to be fascinating to see how they do start to spread out. And it's where someone like Morgan Pearson had such an advantage by being first on the bike. Martin Van Riel was hot on his heels as well. And those two have a real advantage as it heads into the first sort of more technical section and up the first hill that we will see quite soon. Looks like Rico Bogan might be considering a pass here on Martin Van Riel. You can see that red light on the back of Martin's bike flashing, and that means Rico is well inside the draft zone. And in fact, he has just pulled up now level with him and will make that pass.
Yeah, we saw Rico do this with Hayden Wild, didn't we, in Singapore? They took it in turns at the front of the race, kind of sharing the load of setting the pace. So back to the front, and that looks like Bitados overtaking Martin Van Riel and Rico Bogan to seize the initiative.
Yeah, that's interesting, because that means that they have sort of come back together a little bit now, whereas they were separated. You know, our sort of leaderboard hasn't quite caught up yet. They've obviously not gone over another timing map for us to update yet, but really interesting that that move's been made and he's gone straight to the front there.
And confirmation there, yeah, of that penalty for the young South African Jamie Riddle. It's interesting, Vicky, that the lead is changing and the positions are changing a lot. And I compare it with Singapore. We had that definitely at the front, didn't we, with Hayden Wild and Rico Bogan. But it feels like this hasn't quite naturally fit yet, has it, into its path?
Yeah, so very interesting. Carl Smith is carrying that bottle in his mouth now. Makes me think that something has broken on his bike. He doesn't seem to have somewhere to rack it, so let's go and see if we can work out what's going on here. So that's Jelle Geens going round, and oh, there we go. So I think that's actually a nutrition hydration pack. He's got his bottle. What does he do with his bottle now?
And we'll make our way back to the men's race.
Oh, I love it when we can get these images and see the Golden Gate Bridge in the background. I just don't think I'm ever going to get sick of it, especially because last year I was just so disappointed that we didn't get that. And it is really, really great to see. It's such an iconic bridge. Pretty much anyone in the world could look at that image and tell you where we are right now. We are in San Francisco, and these athletes are escaping from Alcatraz.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of escaping from Alcatraz because they're moving at quite a pace through the course.
Rico has extended his lead since we were last with him just a couple of minutes ago, so it does look like this is the time he's decided to make a move at just under halfway through the bike. He's now got 20 seconds on that pack behind him, the likes of Kyle Smith, Jelle Geens, Martin Van Riel, Jamie Riddle into that pack as well. Of course, we've not mentioned him so far, Yuri Kulin and Bitados. And then Mika Nut, who was sort of in the pack, out of the pack, and then back in the pack again. So he seems to have made himself back in there as well. And then after that, we've got that minute gap back to Aaron Royal. And that is Danielle Kleister sort of stuck in the women's pack. And there we go, Yuri is into the penalty tent.
So the 1 minute will begin. And this must feel like an absolute eternity.
Absolutely, it's come up on the screen as 3. I believe it is just the 1 minute he will have to serve it. What used to be 3, but we have that rule changed from midway through last season. And so now he has the agonizing minute wait. And gosh, doesn't it feel like a long time, even as we're watching him.
Yeah, I don't know he'll actually drop back that many places. I think maybe Mika Nut will obviously overtake him, but just by the looks of the times, it'll be Justin Riale who will still slot in front of. So position-wise, he hasn't lost too much, but time-wise, he has.
Yeah.
Been a really, really good bike leg from Rico Bogan. He's looked incredibly strong. He's led for a significant proportion of this part of the race, and he takes that right-hand turn onto the blue carpet, off the bike, very, very smooth.
There we go.
And makes his way to his stand. Really good support here in San Francisco. And I wonder if a few of these athletes are going to, also a few of the amateurs are going to get some tips on how to do a smooth transition here. Let's keep our eye on how Rico Bogan does.
Say everything has to go in the box. That's the most important thing to say. And all those things he's got down there, a gel, etc., sunglasses, whatever, he has to take those. There we go. Take them with him as he heads out onto the run course. And if he had decided, for example, he didn't want to take them, they also have to go in the box. You can't leave anything on the floor.
So Jamie Riddle takes his foot out of his shoe, and again another nice and smooth dismount off the bike. It's pretty narrow through there, so you want to make sure you get that bit right. Don't want to drop any water bottles, as we saw a few athletes do in Singapore. Oh, and the bike wants to go for a walk,
yeah.
But eventually he gets it.
I'm afraid he's not getting an 8
stands.
anymore. And there we go, Kyle Smith rounding the final U-turn as well.
Yelageen's just behind him. So Jamie Riddle makes his way out onto the run course. He's going to try and chase down Rico Bogan.
Yeah, he's just asking there, he just called across to have a penalty. So I think he knows now that he's got one. He can take it on any lap on the run course. Yeah, it's a tactical decision,
yeah.
You know, where you take it on the run. The reason they don't allow that on the bike is because it's such an advantage to continue to sit in the line of athletes and take your penalty right at the end. So had Yuri Kulin had that opportunity, he would have stayed in this bike pack the entire ride and then taken his minute at the end, which actually might be a nice little advantage before you head out onto the run. You've had a minute to stand there, shake your legs out, and then wait and go. That's the reason we make the athletes take their penalty on the lap they incur it, whereas on the run there isn't that same advantage. You know, that's much more of a personal tactical decision. Will I be better taking it at the beginning or in the middle, maybe right before a sprint finish perhaps? That's where you've got to decide on the run. There we go, he's indicating he's going into the penalty box now.
And you've got to press the timer to begin, but he'll be using this as an opportunity to recover. It's not ideal, but the very least you can do, like we can see there, he's just stretching out, just trying to get his body in the best possible shape for the last 12K.
Oh, bit of cramp there. It's just as you said it, he was trying to stretch and the cramp hit. But he is going to start pretty much level with Kyle Smith, so that'll be a real advantage for him if he can just stretch out those legs a little bit. Here we go. Just as Kyle Smith comes round, there he goes. So Jamie and Kyle are now going to be running together in, well, 3rd and 4th place, really. But again, when I just compare him to the likes of Yelageen's, who does look to be moving really, really well, Rico's having an absolute race for the ages here. And I think that's why when we were there comparing him back to Martin, I found it really hard to assess where Martin's at, but I think we can probably say Martin's not at his best right now. Not today. That's where they would sit in the overall standings. But there we go. So that was a move. There's Mika Nut put in a serious injection of pace there. He does not want to face Martin van Riel down the blue carpet and that sprint finish. He wants it done and dusted before, so that was a move. He's had a grimace on his face for pretty much the entire run, and we did question whether that meant he was starting to struggle, whether we would see him falter, whether it would mean that Jelle could pounce, Yelageen's could catch up to him, but there has been no faltering from this man. There we go, one high five. And we might see a smile soon as he realises just what he's done.
I'm fascinated to know when a grimace turns to a smile. Keep your eyes on that, because I think we're going to learn very, very soon as Rico Bogan makes his way onto the finish straight, rounds the final corner.
It's a long straightaway. It's a long way to go.
Very, very long straight.
But he will be so delighted that he is on that straightaway on his own this year. He is not in a sprint finish. He is not battling Martin Van Riel and Kyle Smith. He's done that earlier on in the race. He made the damage early on the bike. He's now taken the high fives as he deserves. Still grimacing his way down, but he is going to be our T100 San Francisco winner.
So on the blue carpet, Rico Bogan might just turn this grimace into a smile. He was third last year, and he makes his way over the finish line. Rico Bogan, you're a T100 winner. Finally, that grimace turns into a smile. Just goes to show how hard he has worked over the last 18 kilometres, over the last 100 kilometres here on the T100. And he blows a kiss to the camera. He's absolutely obliterated the rest of the pack here. He's finished well out in front.
Yelegin's showing just exactly why. Bouncing back from a DNF is a really tough thing to do, and to do it in the style he's done it today. Great all-round performance from Yelegin's.
Yeah, really, really impressive performance from Yelegin's. He's already got one T100 win. It's going to be second place here in San Francisco this time around. Tongue out through the finish line, and I'm sure he's going to be greeted here by those who are going to congratulate him.
I don't know, congrats, impressive.
For now, our eyes are on Mick on the blue carpet. This is a brilliant, brilliant result for him. He finished 5th last year in San Francisco. He's going to go 2 better this time around and finish 3rd.
Taken out the hairband to let those
taken out
locks
the
flow.
hairband.
I love that. Go on, Mika.
Brilliant, brilliant performance from Mika Nut.
2 German athletes on the podium. 2 very young German athletes on the podium, and a great return to racing for Kyle Smith after the heartbreak of not being able to start in Singapore. 4th place here today. Obviously something happened midway through the run, but he held it together. 4th place, and a very happy and relieved Jamie Riddle makes it into the top 5.
All of a sudden, those cramps that we saw at that final corner seem to have gone away, because he realises he's on for a tremendous result, the best result, I'm sure, of his career. Jamie Riddle, congratulations, you finished 5th at the San Francisco T100.
Our highest placed wildcard finisher of the day, and we had a lot of wildcards here today with some incredibly high caliber. So to come through in 5th place, what a result for the young man.
Martin Van Riel gingerly over the line. I'm sure it will be very interesting to hear what he has to say after this race about how that performance was. Well, let's take a look then how that men's race finished. In confirmation that Rico Bogan finished in 1st place. He had the fastest bike of anyone in the men's race. In 2nd, Yelegin's, and he had the fastest run of anyone in the race. Mick Nut in 3rd, Carl Smith in 4th, Jamie Riddle in 5th. A superb performance from the young South African. Martin Van Riel in 6th. I look forward to hearing what he has to say about how he felt he performed in that race. Then Yuri Kulin in 7th, Morgan Pearson in 8th, Jason West in 9th, and Nicholas Mann in 10th.